In part 1, we witnessed how 37-year-old Saturo Mikami, who has never felt the touch of a woman, gets reincarnated into another world as a freaking slime. Our virgin protagonist immediately befriends the strongest creature in this realm and gets renamed as Rimuru Tempest. This marks the beginning of Rimuru as he eventually formulates his own empire. Episode 13. As Rimuru and others are headed towards the battlefield, they come across Gabiru's sister, who informs them about her brother's dumb decision and urges them to rescue the chieftain. In the meantime, the lizardmen are battling the orcs under Gabiru's leadership and are getting absolutely obliterated. Things get even worse when they notice the orcs are devouring their own allies and even the lizardmen. Meanwhile, Trayini discovers the place and Gelman in the forest and manages to drive them away with the help of a light spirit. Gabiru, on the other hand, is up against the orc general, and before anything bad happens, Gobta and the others appear to his rescue. Benimaru and the other Kaijins obliterate the orc army and defeat the orc general. In the meantime, Susi rescues the lizard chieftain, and with this, Rimuru proceeds to confront the Orc Lord Geld. Episode 14. Before the real battle commences, Gelman appears at the spot and challenges Rimuru. He reveals that he created the Orc Lord to turn him into a new demon lord. With this, he attempts to get rid of Rimuru, but fails miserably and gets devoured by Geld, who evolves into the demon lord Orc Disaster. Seeing all this, Rimuru realizes that things are going down and hands over the steering to the Great Sage. But even the ancient version of AI fails against the Orc Lord now that it has developed fire resistance. Rimuru takes back control of his body and engages in a battle of gluttony against the Orc Lord. Soon after, he learns that my man Geld just wanted to end the famine afflicting his people and got manipulated by Gelman. With no other option left, Rimuru decides to devour Geld alongside his sons. Now that the battle has ended, Benimaru and the other Kaijins decide to serve under Rimuru alongside the orcs. Episode 15. Realizing that his empire is growing, Rimuru names it the Jura Forest Alliance. This allows the goblins, Kaijins, lizardmen, and the orcs to live in harmony. He then names the Orc Lord's son as Geld, that evolves him into the Orc King and the other orcs into the higher orcs. He bestows names to the lizardmen, and surprisingly, Gabiru gets exiled from the kingdom for his actions and embarks on a journey on his own. After some time, King Gazel gets info regarding the formation of Jura Forest Alliance and the Orc Lord's defeat. Seeing this, he gathers his army and travels to the Jura Forest to challenge Rimuru to a brawl. After exchanging some blows with him and learning that they share the same swordmaster Heroku, Gazel deduces that Rimuru is not evil and offers to form an alliance among the two kingdoms. Episode 16. Fast forward 2 days, King Gazel brings Vesta to Rimuru and Kaijin so he can apologize for everything he did. Vesta then decides to serve under Rimuru and aid them in their technological advancement. Time passes by and the 4 demon lords, Milim, Clayman, Frey, and Carrion, also learn about the Jura Forest Alliance and the defeat of the Orc Lord. Milim Nava takes an interest in the Jura Alliance and decides to meet Rimuru. As soon as she reaches there, Ranga and the Kaijins confront her, fearing their master's safety, but are no match for her. At that point, Rimuru decides to take her on and subjugates her using honey. With this, both become friends, and Milim decides to live alongside Rimuru in the Jura Forest. Even though Rimuru is convinced that Milim won't attack them, Benimaru and the others are concerned that the other demon lords might take some action after hearing about this. Episode 17. With all this going on, Vesta has finally succeeded in developing a potion equivalent to Rimuru's healing potion. Rimuru suggests that they sell this potion, but Kaijin objects, stating that using such high-potency potion for everyday use is not profitable, and that they should stick to the lower quality potions. Just then, the Beastkeeper of the Demon Lord Carrion, Phobio, invades Jura with the intention of taking it over, but gets humiliated by Milim. Rimuru somehow manages to calm her by bribing her with lunch. He then gathers some intel from Phobio and allows him to leave unscathed. Later, Rimuru encounters some people from the other kingdom, including Yum, who had recently joined Aaron's party. Following some negotiations regarding trade relations, Rimuru urges Yum and the others to take credit for defeating the Orc Lord. Meanwhile, Demon Lord Clayman takes an interest in a mysterious creature known as Charybdis and sends his underling to investigate it. Episode 18. Phobio is insanely furious over his humiliation as 2 of Clayman's Harlequin approach him. They somehow manage to convince him to become a Demon Lord himself and take revenge from Milim, further stating that he just must let Charybdis control his body and it'll do the rest. With this, Phobio breaks the seal on Charybdis. The Dryad Trayini's sister Trina approaches Rimuru and warns them regarding the revival of Charybdis. According to her, Charybdis is a creature born from a cloud of Veldora's magicules and is the mindless ruler of skies. She further tells him that it is summoned towards the Jura forest alongside 13 Megalodon summoned from the spirit world. With no other option left, Rimuru instructs his underlings to prepare for battle and seek help from King Gazel. Episode 19. Is it finally time for the battle? With the aid of 100 Pegasus Knights from King Gazel, Rimuru and others manage to defeat the Megalodons. Now that they are up against the Charybdis, Rimuru consults the Great Sage on ways to defeat it, but even the AI has no solution to it. With no other option, Rimuru confronts the Charybdis himself, only to discover that its target is Milim, because it's possessing Phobio. Rimuru then requests Milim to defeat the Charybdis and spare Phobio. Phobio apologizes to Rimuru for all the trouble he has caused, and it is revealed that Demon Lord Clayman's Harlequin are the ones behind all of this. Demon Lord Carrion, on the other hand, formulates a non-aggression pact with Tempest. Episode 20. Following all this, the Jura Alliance celebrates its victory with a filleted Megalodon and a massive party. Later that night, Rimuru dreams about Shizu, in which she expresses her regret over not being able to save the 5 children who were brought into this world. Rimuru then decides to travel to the kingdom of Ingrazia to meet those kids, and there he comes across Yuki Karazaka, who is the Grandmaster in charge of the children and is a teenager himself. Their first encounter wasn't that pleasant, since Yuki thinks that Rimuru has killed Shizu and assumed her appearance. Following this, they had a long conversation regarding anime and manga. Yuki also arranges for Rimuru to teach the students and informs him that 2 of them are otherworlders and are destined to become weapons. He further informs him that they will die after 5 years. Hearing all this, Rimuru vows to save these kids and honor Shizu's wish. Episode 21. Rimuru then meets the kids, and unexpectedly, they don't respect him at all, refusing to be taught by a mere slime. Rimuru has no other option but to showcase the overwhelming difference in their power through individual duels. After the brutal defeats, the kids accept Rimuru as their master. After this, Rimuru meets Trainee, hoping that she might be able to help the children by inhabiting their bodies since Shizu also survived owing to the presence of Ifrit inside her. Trainee directs them towards the dwelling of spirits, but with the Ocean Queen of Spirit dead, the spirits can't even locate the entrance and have lost their links. Rimuru then comes across a merchant named Majamil, who knows everything about Rimuru and gets invited to the Tempest. They also discover that the merchant's assistant comes here from a village near the dwelling of spirits and accompanies her there. Episode 22. Upon reaching there, a spirit in the opening labyrinth challenges them to a battle with her golden golem, only to get butchered by Rimuru. The spirit then introduces herself as Ramirez, one of the 10 Demon Lords. She also informs him that Leon, the Demon Lord who summoned Shizu and made her life miserable, was once a hero before he fell from grace, becoming a Demon Lord. Similarly, Ramirez also used to be the Queen of Spirits, but after dying, she returned as a Demon Lord. The conversation proceeds quite long, as Rimuru promises Ramirez to bring back her golden golem in exchange for some superior spirits. Episode 23. The prayers of Gale, Alice, and Ryota get answered by some mere spirits. Seeing this, Rimuru immediately devours them and converts them into superior spirits, who inhabit the bodies of these children. Kenya also gets inhabited by superior spirits, with Chloe being the only one left. Suddenly, a spirit-like being answers her summons, and even Veldora reacts to its presence. This being inhabits her body even though Ramirez wanted to stop it. Rimuru, however, pays no heed to this as he is relieved that the kids won't die in the near future. He then creates a new golem for Ramirez, and with this, they leave for Ingrazia. Yuki reassures Rimuru that the nations who abandoned these kids won't take them back, and they'll be able to live peacefully. Rimuru then contemplates his past and realizes how all things have settled down. He then hands over the mask Shizu gave him to Chloe without any reason. According to him, he feels like it's the best course of action. At that moment, a suspicious woman is also spying on Rimuru. Episode 24. A woman on her deathbed asks a demon to avenge her and her partner. The demon, finding it amusing, agrees. Back when Shizu was still alive, she was summoned to the kingdom of Filtwood and others to stop a demon from reviving under the castle. When famous adventurers, the Silverwings, are killed, some want to leave, but the minister reveals some are possessed, causing fear. The demon from earlier laughs, and hence the knights summoned lesser demons. Planning to kill the demon, he admits he'll kill others to find the culprit. Shizu refuses, and they fight. Shizu remembers learning about powerful demons like Rogue and Noir. Later, she finds the king and minister are puppets of a demon named Orthos. Pretending to be a hero, They plan to sacrifice Shizu and others to get stronger. Orthos beats Shizu, but Kuro, summoned by the dying Silverwings, arrives and kills the king and minister. He scolds Orthos and destroys him. Officially, Kuro kills the king and minister, but Shizu defeats him. Kuro leaves, saying he won't target Shizu if their stories match. And that's it, folks. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications as well, so you don't miss out on anything.